Hello, friends and family of Ascension. My name is Mrs. Moore. Some of you know me as Miss Ford, and I am here today to read you a story. Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here. And so I thought I'm a fourth grade teacher, and we have been reading a parable in fourth grade, so I thought I would read a parable today. Best loved parables of Jesus. And if you don't know what a parable is, it's a story that Jesus or stories that Jesus would share with us to teach us something about the world and teach us about ourselves and one another. And so my favorite parable that we have been reading in fourth grade is the story of the Good Samaritan. And so I'm going to read that here for you today. I'm going to read the words and then I'm going to show you the pictures. This is the story of the Good Samaritan. An expert in God's law came down where Jesus taught one day, and he asked a question of the Lord to see what Jesus would say. Love your neighbor as yourself, God tells us in his word. But just who is my neighbor? The lawyer asked the Lord. The lawyer loved his fellow Jews. But the lawyer did not like Samaritans. He would call them dogs and would refuse to even look at them. So the lawyer is confused. Who is his neighbor? What does that mean, love your neighbor as yourself? So then Jesus told a story of a Jew who had to go on a journey from Jerusalem to the town of Jericho. On the way, some thieves jumped out. They stripped and beat the man till he was bruised and bleeding. Then they grabbed their loot and ran. That means they stole from him and they left him lying there. The man lay groaning by the road. A temple priest walked near. The man on the ground groaned louder, but the priest pretended not to hear. Perhaps the priest thought, what a shame. This man is in distress. But if I stop to ease his pain, my robe will be a mess. And so that's the priest walking by over here, pretending not to hear him in pain. He's deciding not to help him. Next, a Levite came along who helped the temple priest. But when he saw the wounded man, his walking speed increased. That means he started walking faster away. The Levite may have told himself while scurrying away, surely someone else will stop. I haven't time today. So you'll see his speed's increasing. He's walking away. And there's the man groaning, still not getting help. The wounded man grew weaker as the hours dragged on by. If someone didn't help him soon, it looked like he would die. Then the poor man heard a sound, a slow clip-clap, clip-clap. A Samaritan came round the bend, then made his donkey stop. The Samaritan did all he could to help his enemy. He bathed and bandaged all his wounds and nursed him tenderly. So the man who's hurt is a Jew, and this man in red is a Samaritan, and they said that they didn't like one another, but somehow he's still able to help him. When the man was strong enough, the stranger helped him ride on the donkey while he walked slowly by its side. It was getting very late when, what a welcome sight! They saw a little roadside inn where they could spend the night. The next day, the Samaritan told the owner of the inn, I'll pay you well to nurse this man till I come back again. And so he's helping him, and even after he helped him in that moment, he's going to make sure he's okay so that nothing bad happens to him anymore. Now, Jesus asked the lawyer, of the three, which would you say truly was a neighbor to the man who was robbed on his way? The lawyer said, well, the one who stopped and helped to ease his pain. Then Jesus told the lawyer, now you go and do the same. We can all be good neighbors like the Samaritan that day. Share God's love with everyone we meet along the way. And that is the end of our story. I love this story because when Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself, that just means no matter who you are, if you can help and show love to someone, even if it's not someone who's easy to love, or if it's really hard and maybe they're mean, that it's so important to spread love and kindness when you can, just like the Samaritan man did to the wounded man. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Bye, friends.